Hi, this is Peter Godinez, your community ambassador, and we're here at the River Park Executive Suite here in Oxnard, California, and I have the good pleasure of being able to interview Bert Perello, who is presently a city councilor in Oxnard, but we're going to have an election here on November 6th. So Bert, thank you so much for taking time. You're very busy schedule.
I've resided in this area since 1958, the surrounding areas, the El Rio area. I got married in 1990. My wife got me involved in community stuff. I came from a family that they paid attention, watched the news, became involved in different things. But the real instigator of getting involved and speaking up, my wife got me involved in this in a neighborhood when we bought a house. The biggest change in me that has come about this entire thing, I never could speak in public. I would not speak in public, and I got over that when I got involved in my neighborhood council issues when some people were sick, and was very fortunate to get involved with people in my neighborhood, the South Bank of Oxnard, that were serious, very technical, diligent, and they took the responsibility seriously, and I got to ride along. And in the process of riding along with them, you found out things, and you found out you got to a certain point you just couldn't walk away.
One of the questions that I really want to ask you is, public service is so hard and so challenging. Why public service?
I got involved in the neighborhood council, and there was an issue in my neighborhood that got resolved through efforts of a lot of good people. And so people from Oxnard get an idea what's going on. I live in the north end of Oxnard. One of the main individuals who since has passed away, a guy's in heaven, Ventura Fernandez, was the chair of the South Winds neighborhood. That's as far south as you can go. Saviors Road, Wainemu Road, South Winds. One of the densest, less economically advantaged neighborhoods in this city. And he went to bat for my neighborhood as the chair of the Inter-Neighborhood Council Forum, a combination of all the neighborhood councils in the city of Oxnard. We were not successful going against the city of Oxnard, who was, it ultimately came to find out, was causing some of the problems. And he went to the Board of Supervisors on a public comment. Ladies and gentlemen, your public comment counts. And he was able to entice the chair of the Board of Supervisors, a gentleman named John Flynn, and the rest is history. And literally, the rest is history. Things happened, and I was asked to go along, and I found out a lot of stuff, and I shared it. And the other part that goes along with that, finding out information. And information, you can capitalize on it for a short time, but it will eventually bite you if you do not share information, important information. And public health, safety, and welfare is some of the most important things you can do.
So many different priorities in our community of Oxnard. There's the financial part of it, there's safety, there's things like graffiti, there's streets, there's trees. What would you say your top 3 priorities are in some of the initiatives? What do you think are the foundation of getting this done?
The area that I will be representing includes the Channel Islands Harbor. There's an issue with the Channel Islands water, and it has to be resolved. But that is not the focus of an individual. Whether you're representing one district or another, you end up representing because you're responsible for the entire city. I cannot just take care of District 1 and let the other 5 districts go to heck. I can't. I need support to get something done in my district. With new people coming on board, there'll be 7. A majority is going to be 4. You need to have 3 other votes to get something done. And you need to convince people with the limited resources we have, what are we going to do with them, and how will we benefit the majority of Oxnard? You're a resident of Oxnard, you're entitled to an equal share of service from the city of Oxnard. Whether you pay a lot of property taxes or not as much property taxes, we're all supposed to be in the same equal sharing of the benefits and services the city of Oxnard has. I need to take care of my district. I need to help take care of the city. The finances will indicate what we can and cannot do, what we will be able to accomplish with our ability to acquire financing, what it's going to cost us, the issue of the residents and the lack of services that they've had and the things that have happened in the past, and streets need to be fixed, parks need to be completed, jobs need to be brought in, various things like that, more housing, all of these things. I believe the bottom foundation, you don't build a house on a crappy foundation. You gotta have a good financial foundation. And right now, the city of Oxnard is working towards getting that financial situation in control. It is not out of the woods yet. We have a ways to go. I believe with the new management and the changes that will be coming forward, that there's gonna be success in that area. Housing and the impact of housing in this community. Cost of housing, the ability to get into housing, the jobs, public transportation, we can make it better. How do you get all these people to give up their car and take a bus? Ability to get something to bring in income to your family so that you could acquire what you would like to have for your family. There isn't a family that has a head and a mom and a dad that doesn't want better for themselves, doesn't want better for their children than they have for themselves. I have yet to meet one. There are some real idiots in the world, but I've yet to meet some that don't want something better for their kids. And in the process, you try to strive to get the best you can. And sometimes it's based on your education, sometimes it's based on the lack of jobs. And there may not be a lack of jobs per se just to have a job, but there's a lack of a job that will allow you to potentially strive to get up into the middle class, where hopefully you can get a better quality of life and pass something on to your kids. The city of Oxnard has a lot going for it. The city of Oxnard, I don't intend to leave. I came here as a kid. I've seen it grow tremendously. The issue of housing and sanctuary city and that kind of stuff, there's a lot of things, moving parts in the city of Oxnard.
Bert, one of the things I've seen you do in the last 2 years is deal with the subject of transparency. And I think in the last 2 years, Bert, there's been a lot of opportunity for the truth coming out. Maybe some of it's fake news, but I have never seen a community involved in, it's like somebody turned all the lights on. Now we're really seeing what's going on. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of transparency in a community like Oxnard?
The term transparency means that you can see through something. You can see what's on the other side. It's like a piece of clear glass versus a piece of frosted glass. Frosted glass is something that is used to distort the glass to let some light in, but you can't see what's really going on the inside. Maybe a shadow or something. But it's also a word that's been used and abused in my city. There's a lot of things that are still not transparent. As a council member, you take an oath, you're elected. First off, you're elected. You're by whatever graces you want to say it, by your own smarts, your wits, or luck, you get elected and you win an election. You sit on the thing and they swear you in. When you go behind the wall into a closed session, that's when people start letting you aware of things that the public does not know. You sit in the city of Oxnard and you have groups that come forward and they want something and they need something. You are presented a palette of choices, and on that palette of choices there are good, fancy, and fancier. And it boils down to wants, needs, and desires. What do you need? What do you want? What would you really like? But very seldom do they ever give you, what can you afford? People come up with needs, wants, and desires. And you're an elected official working with the two people that you have any authority over, a city attorney and a city manager, and you're trying to accomplish the things that you can for the people that you're trying to serve. And sometimes the elected officials lose focus on, wait a minute, we made some promises back here, we got to take care of that before we can take care of this. Because when you start diluting your resources, of which you may not have gotten a full picture of where you stand, you start cutting it thinner and thinner and thinner, and you cannot give the people what they need, and you start looking at some other big grandiose things, or even if you try to give the people what they need, but you're also getting a little bit taken off subject by looking at these grandiose things, it takes time and it takes resources. You can possibly get the resources back, but you don't get the time back. And in that whole mix of things, the transparency of the public is the perception, which former Mayor Holden used to say, the perception becomes a reality.
Bert, thanks so much for taking this time, and excited about the future for the city of Oxnard. The
I am
community.
too. I am really excited with the new city manager.
Yeah, and I know elections involve a lot of stress and a lot of hard work and sleepless nights and things like that. So I appreciate you, and I know the audience appreciates you. So with that, I want to encourage you, as I do with all these interviews. We need you to get out and vote, and it's November 6th. And I want to say that there's 3 ways to vote. There's obviously going to your poll. Make sure you know what it is. Put it on your calendar. Don't forget about it. Don't remember the day after and realize, oh, I forgot to vote. Number 2, mail it in. So again, make sure you mail it in. You have a time frame, a little extra too there. But something I really enjoy is going down to the county center and actually voting down in this basement where you can see all the activity. Maybe you'll see Mark Lund. Who knows? He'll shake your hand, very friendly person. So with that, I'm Peter Godinez, your community ambassador. Until next time.